Hello, my little learners. In this video, we will understand the questions and answers of Chapter 9 Methods of Separation in Everyday Life from the Class 6 Curiosity textbook. Students, if you want a detailed explanation video of this chapter, do let me know in the comment section. So let's begin. First, we will look at a summary of the chapter and then we will discuss the questions and answers. So let's start learning. So, in this chapter, we will learn about different methods of separation used in our everyday life. These methods are handpicking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, evaporation, sedimentation, decantation, filtration, churning, and magnetic separation. Let's understand them one by one. So, handpicking is used for separating solid materials on the basis of differences in size, color, and shape from a mixture. So, it is used when one component is present in small quantity and can be easily seen and removed by hand. That is why it is called hand picking. For example, removing stones from rice or pulses. The process in which the stalks are beaten to separate grains from them is called threshing. The method of separating lighter husks from heavier grains by wind or blowing air is called winnowing, right? So, winnowing is used when one component is lighter than the other. The lighter substance is blown away by air. For example, separating husks from grain. The process of separating solids from a mixture based on variations in particle size using a sieve is called sieving. It is very common in our household, right? Evaporation is the process in which a liquid gets converted into its vapor. It can be used to separate a solid dissolved in a liquid. So basically, evaporation is used to separate a dissolved solid from a liquid. For example, getting salt from salt water. So basically, seawater is a mixture of salts and some other substances dissolved in water, right? So to obtain salt, the seawater is kept in shallow pits and exposed to sunlight and air. In a few days, the water evaporates completely and leaving behind the solid mixture. Sedimentation occurs when heavy, insoluble solids settle at the bottom of a liquid. That is the process of settling down of heavier insoluble component at the bottom of a liquid is called sedimentation. And when the liquid is removed by tilting the vessel, the process is called decantation. So basically, decantation is the process of carefully pouring the clear liquid after sedimentation. For example, separating clear water from sand and water mixture, right? Filtration is used to separate insoluble solids from liquids using a filter. For example, separating tea leaves from tea. Churning is used to separate butter or cream from milk by rapid stirring. Or churning is used to extract butter from curd. And separation of magnetic and non-magnetic substances by using a magnet is called magnetic separation. For example, separating iron powder from sawdust. So, students, different methods of separation are used based on the nature of the substances like size, weight, solubility, and magnetism. Now, let us enhance our learning. Question number 1. What purpose does handpicking serve in the process of separation? Options are filtration, sorting, evaporation, and decantation. And the correct answer is option number 2, sorting. Because handpicking is used when you want to separate unwanted, bigger, and easily visible impurities from a mixture, right? So the process involves sorting the components by hand based on their size, shape, or appearance. That is why handpicking is a method of sorting, not filtration, not evaporation, or decantation. Question number 2 is, which of the following substances are commonly separated using the churning method? And options are oil from water, sand from water, cream from milk, or oxygen from air. The correct answer is option number 3, cream from milk, right? Because churning is a process in which milk is rapidly stirred so that the lighter cream separate from the heavier milk. Let's check each option. Oil from water is separated by decantation, right? Not churning. Sand from water separated by sedimentation and decantation. And oxygen from air is separated by fractional distillation. So, churning method is used to separate cream from milk. Question number 3, which factor is usually essential for the filtration? Options are apparatus size, presence of air, pore size, or temperature of the mixture. And the correct option is option number 3, pore size. Because filtration works by allowing the liquid to pass through while the solid particles are trapped, right? For this to happen, the filter paper or sieve must have pores smaller than the solid particles. So, pore size is the essential factor for filtration. Next is question number 4. State with reasons whether the following statements are true or false, and also correct the false statements. First statement is salt can be separated from salt solution by keeping it under the sun. So this statement is true. We all know that, right? And the reason is keeping the salt solution under the sun causes evaporation of water, leaving salt crystals behind. Second statement is handpicking should be used only when the quantity of one component is less. So we know this statement is also true because handpicking is useful only when one type of impurity is present in small quantity and can be easily removed by hand, right? Third statement is a mixture of puffed rice and rice grains can be separated by threshing. So, this statement is false. Threshing is used to separate grain from the stalk, not to separate two types of grains, right? The corrected statement would be a mixture of puffed rice and rice grains can be separated by winnowing. Fourth statement is a mixture of mustard oil and lemon water can be separated by decantation. So, this statement is true because mustard oil and lemon water are immiscible liquids, right? Oil floats on water. By allowing layers to settle, the top oil layer can be poured off. Fifth statement is sieving is used to separate a mixture of rice flour and water. So we know this statement is false. Rice flour particles are very fine and pass through the sieve. So sieving cannot separate them from water, right? Corrected statement would be sedimentation is used to separate a mixture of rice flour and water. So statement 1, 2 and 4 are true statement while statement number 3 and 5 are false statement. Question number 5 is match the mixtures in column 1 with their method of separation in column 2. First is gram flour mixed with black gram. So gram flour is fine powder and passes through the sieve while whole black grams remain on top. So the method of separation would be sieving. Second is chalk powder mixed with water. So we know chalk powder is insoluble and can be separated from water using filter paper. So the method of separation would be filtration. Th- Third is corn mixed with potatoes. So we know potatoes are large and easily distinguishable. So they can be separated by hand. So the correct method of separation would be dust. Fourth is iron powder mixed with sawdust. So we know iron gets attracted to a magnet and separates from sawdust. So the correct method of separation would be magnetic separation, right? Fifth is oil mixed with water. So oil floats on water because it is lighter. So it can be separated by carefully pouring out of upper oil layer, right? So the correct method of separation would be decantation. So I hope it is clear now. Okay, let's see question number 6. In what situations would you use decantation instead of filtration to separate solids from liquids? And answer is decantation is used instead of filtration when the solid particles are heavy, insoluble, and settle at the bottom of the liquid on standing, right? So after sedimentation, the clear liquid is carefully poured off without disturbing the solid. It is preferred when filtration is slow, filter paper may get clogged, or when very clear liquid is not required. For example, separation of sand from water. Question number 7. Can you relate the presence of nasal hair to any separation process? So the answer is yes. The presence of nasal hair can be related to the filtration process, and explanation is nasal hair acts like a filter. When we breathe in air, the nasal hair traps dust, smoke, and other harmful particles, while clean air passes through to the lungs. This is similar to the filtration method of separation, where solid impurities are retained by the filter and the fluid passes through. Therefore, nasal hair performs a natural filtration process in our body. Question number 8. During the COVID 19 pandemic, all of us wore masks, right? Generally, what materials are they made of? And what is the role of these masks? So, during the COVID 19 pandemic, masks were generally made of cotton cloth, non woven fabric like polypropylene, or multiple layers of fabric. Roll of masks. The masks act as a filter. They trap dust particles, droplets, and germs present in the air and prevent them from entering our nose and mouth. This helps in reducing the spread of coronavirus from one person to another. Thus, masks protect us by working on the principle of filtration and help in maintaining hygiene and safety. Question number 9. A mixture containing potatoes, salt, and sawdust has been given to you. Outline a stepwise procedure for separating each component from this mixture. So, a mixture containing potatoes, salt, and sawdust can be separated by using their difference in size, solubility, and density, right? Step 1, separation of potatoes. So, potatoes are large in size and can be easily seen, so they are separated by hand picking. Step 2, separation of sawdust. So, add water to the remaining mixture of salt and sawdust. Sawdust is lighter than water and floats on the surface. Remove the floating sawdust by filtration. And step 3, separation of salt. So, salt dissolves in water, right? Heat the salt solution or keep it under the sun. Water evaporates, leaving salt behind. Thus, potatoes are separated by hand picking, sawdust by filtration, and salt by evaporation in the farm. Question number 10. Read the following story titled Intelligent Leela and tick the most appropriate options. Provide a suitable title of your choice for the paragraph too. So Leela was working in the farm with her father when she realized that they left their drinking water at home. Before her father felt thirsty or hungry, obviously thirsty, she went to the nearby pond to fetch some water. After obtaining some water in the container, she noticed that the water was muddy and unfit for drinking. To purify the water, she kept it for some time and then she filtered the muddy water using a piece of muslin cloth. Leela then boiled the water for about 10 minutes in a covered pan. After cooling she filtered it again and made it fit for drinking. She served this water to her father while having food, who blessed her and appreciated her efforts. A suitable title can be Leela's Smart Way of Purifying Water. That's it for today, students. I hope the methods of separation are clear to you. If not, re-watch this video once more for better understanding. Keep learning and stay curious. Bye bye.